Hello, I'm Liviu Bălan and today I will show you how to undo changes in Git relative to its 3-trees architecture. If you want to learn more about Git 3-trees architecture, you can check out my tutorial that I provided you on the useful links section here. So let's get started on how to undo changes in Git. If I type ls and git status, you will see that I'm on a Git repository with 3 files inside of it. File 1, 2 and 3.txt. As you see, I'm on my current master branch with nothing to commit and the working directory is clean. As you know, or you should know, Git is having different levels of managing files: the working directory, the staging index, and the repository. What I will show you during this tutorial is how to discard changes in different levels of Git. Okay, now if I type Git Log, you will see that I'm having an initial commit when I've added my 3 files that I've previously shown you. What I will do next is to change the content of file-1.txt using the echo command. If I press the enter key and hit type git status, you will see that the file content is changed and is marked in Git as modified. Now, if I use git diff, you will see that in this file the content string were added, and this is a new content, and you can figure out of this by the plus sign here. Now, in order to discard the changes and to have a clean version of your repository, you can use the git checkout -- and the file name. If you forget the syntax, you always can remember it by using a git status, and git is telling you that if you use the syntax here, you will discard the changes in the working directory. So, if I use git checkout -- and the file name that I want to discard the changes, file-1.txt. Now, if I use git status, you will see that I'm on the master branch with nothing to commit. Okay, let's modify again the file 1.txt and also file-2.txt. Now, if I use git status, you'll see that both files are modified. What I want you to show next is that when you use git checkout and most of the git commands relative to undo the changes, this applies to a specific pattern. So if I use git checkout -- and instead of a file name I use dot and hit enter, you will see that if I use git status, the changes were discarded in all the files that I've modified, because the dot refers to not to a specific file name, but to all the files. So if you want to discard the changes in all the files that you modified, you can use the syntax provided here: git checkout -- space dot. Now, if I use git status again, you will see that I'm having nothing to commit and the working directory is clean. Let's use the echo command again in order to modify file-1.txt. Now, if I use git status, you will see that the file is modified And what I want to do next is to undo the changes in the staging index. In order to do this, I will use git add and the file name file-1.txt. And now if I use git status, you will see that the file is modified but is staged. What I want to do next is to discard the changes on the stage on the staging level, and I want to unstage the file. So what I want to do is to use the syntax provided here, git reset head, and then the file name file-1.txt. Now if I use git status, you will see that the file isn't on the staging level and is on the working directory. From the modified in green here became modified in red here. Okay, let's use the echo command again. To modify also file-2.txt, use git status, add both files to git, hit the enter key, use git status, and now if I want to unstage both of the files, all I have to do is to use git reset head, and instead of a file name I will use the dot. Hit the enter key, use git status, and as you saw, the file were removed from the staging index and were put in the working directory. Now if I use git checkout --dot, the changes were discarded in the working directory. If I use git status now, you will see that I'm on the master branch with nothing to commit and the working directory is clean. Okay, let's move on to the repository level, and in order to do this, what I want to do is to modify the content of file-1.txt, use git status, add it to the staging index, file-1.txt, use git status, and next I want to commit it to the repository by using git commit -m and then the commit message add content to file-1.txt. Hit enter, and now if I use git status, everything it's okay with nothing to commit. But if I use git log, you will see that a new commit message were added here, add content to file1.txt. What I want to do next is to replace the tip of the current branch by creating a new commit. This means that I want to replace this commit with another commit because maybe I forgot to add something or something went wrong here. I've added a file that I didn't want to do this. If I use git commit classical, a new commit will be created and this one will not be replaced. Instead of using git commit as is, I will use the amend option. When you use this, a new commit ID is generated, and remember that this works only on the last commit, meaning that only this commit will be replaced with another one and not this one. This is because of how Git works and the internal structure of Git. Remember, what I want you to remember here is that only the last commit may be replaced with the amend option. Okay, let's use git status to show you that everything it's okay. And next, what I want to what I want to do is to use the echo command to add some content, let's say to file-2.txt. And also let's add some content to file-1.txt. Use git status, and now you will see that both of the files were modified. If you use git status, if you use git diff, you'll see the changes. Now if I use cut file-1.txt, you will see that contains the content on two lines, because I've used it 2 times. I've used the echo command 2 times. Now use git status, use git add to add the files to the staging index, git status, and then what I want to do is to commit the files, but I will add an extra parameter here, the amend option. If I hit the enter key, now if I use the git status, you'll see that everything is okay, but if I use git log, you will see that a new commit were added here. As you see, the commit starts with 30EE, and here the commit starts with 478. So this is a different commit ID, a different SHA-1 from the same user, me, Liviu Bălan, and my email address, and is on the last date that I've put it. And as you saw, the commit were replaced with the commit message that I've put it on the last time. Add commit to file-1.txt. If you want to convince yourself that this is another commit message, let's add some, let's say, content 2 on file-1 and file-2.txt. Use git status, add them, and when I use commit, add content to file-1.txt and file-2.txt. Hit the enter key, and now if I use git log, you will see that the commit message is the last one that I've provided. Now if I use cut on file-1.txt, you will see that the content is content and content 2 that I've put it on a last time relative to this commit. Okay, so this is how you undo changes in Git relative to its 3 trees architecture. If you want to learn more about Git, about web technologies, you can check out my tutorials on YouTube and also visit my website liviubalan.com. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.